Hi, this is Bill Monty, your host of Tales from South Florida. What you're about to see here is something a little bit different than what we normally do on our regular episodes. We took a recent trip to Canada because, as you know, Canadians play a large part in the history of South Florida. Growing up in Hollywood, I can tell you that every winter the Canadians would come down. So if you're planning a trip to Montreal, give this video a watch. I think you'll learn quite a few things, what to do and what not to do. But most important, and I want to say this right up front, the kindness of the Canadian people and of those people living in Montreal was just inspiring, especially given the political climate of today. They went out of their way to be nice to us, and it's very, very appreciated. Thank you, Montreal. I'll give you a wrap up on our thoughts about everything about our trip to Montreal at the end of the video. So for right now, sit back, grab a plate of poutine, and let's head for Montreal. The clouds. So we're taking Porter Airlines to Montreal. Our first time using Porter so far. It's been fantastic. There's 2 rows of 2 seats each. So it's a smaller plane in width, but still fits a lot of passengers. And so far the service has been fantastic, and we even get a meal. Free snacks, including beer, wine, soft drinks. I say, fly Porter. Okay, so another thing on Porter is you get, look at these nice little meals. So the long one here, oh my, is the appetizers. This contains a piri-piri chicken salad. Over here, a chicken salad croissant. And look at this. The water that is served is actually served in a glass. So we're gonna see exactly what the appetizers look like in a moment. That's my Dr. Pepper, in case you're wondering. By the way, just to mention, you get no compensation for Porter Airlines, piri-piri chickens, or Dr. Pepper for anything here. And as we open, this is like an unboxing. Cute. This silverware. And it looks like a little Lone Ranger mask in there.
It says Bon Appetit.
Inside is jalapeno cornbread. Underneath, a nice giardelli. And over here, a couscous salad, looking delicious, plus some cream crackers. How exciting! So the hummus, not my thing, a lot of feta cheese, but good, really good. The surprise is this cornbread with cheese and jalapeno in it. Absolutely delicious. So this is the chicken salad croissant. Up the sandwich.
Yeah, it's all stuffed.
There we go.
Just like pieces of chicken.
Very lovely. This is the piri-piri chicken salad. So those look like edamame. And some carrots. I'm hoping that's chicken. Cucumbers and corn. And some peppers. Okay, so the review of the Porter meal. The dessert is very good. The Chinatown chocolate. The absolute best part for me was those jalapeno cornbread. It was sweet, a little kick, but not spicy. There was a hummus with rice and grape tomatoes and olives, Greek olives. That was good. Too much feta cheese for me. My wife liked it better than I did. The salad, the chicken piri-piri salad, was good. It was interesting. I don't think I'd ever order it again, but it was a pleasant surprise on the meal. The chicken salad croissant is actually just pieces of chicken with a curry sauce spread on it. So a light, fluffy croissant. The chicken, if you don't like curry, you're going to hate this sandwich. If you like curry, You're going to love this sandwich. So all in all, a delightful surprise on Porter Airways. That the meal was good, was appreciated, and we'll let you know what happens once we land in Montreal. So we have made it to Montreal. We are now at Pierre Trudeau International Airport. I tell you, Porter Airlines, I give you a thumbs up. It was a great ride all the way around. Really appreciated everything. Going through customs was a bit tough. If you come in here and you don't have a good handle on the French language, you might find it a little challenging, but we made it through. All automated, no waiting. It was great. We have our luggage. We're going to catch an Uber and head to the hotel. We are in Montreal for our first meal in Montreal. We got in late due to traffic and just took a short walk from our hotel. We'll talk about that a little bit more later on. But we are at the Montreal Pool Room. It's been around since 1927, and they are famous for hot dogs. So we're going to have hot dogs and our first taste of poutine. This is poulet poutine, which is chicken on the poutine. Poutine is a Canadian dish served with French fries, brown gravy, cheese curds, and then whatever topping you like. So we are going to see what this has to offer and how good is it? What do you think?
I didn't taste
You
it.
didn't taste it yet.
Because I can't get it on
Because you can't get on this. Because the fork is this
It's
very
a piece of
eco-friendly.
crap.
It came with a lot of play school type of toys when we were young. And we have our first taste of poutine. Let's see if I can get a poutine slice here.
Oh, the cheese pull is good.
Bit chicken texture, not my favorite, but that's really good tasting poutine. That brown gravy is spot on. So day number 2, and we are at the Biodome. Biodome has 7 different regions you can visit. We started with the Arctic, and we're right now staring at these wonderful penguins. Let you have a look. So exciting to be here. Now we are in the Gulf of St. Lawrence exhibit. There's a really large, I think, pike in here. And so now we're in the maple forest. Boy, this is beautiful. I'll show you what the Biodome looks like too here. But don't see a lot of critters running about. Just tourists like us and locals. But the maple forest. We are in Old Montreal. You can hear the music behind us of a musician playing in the middle of the square. I'll do a roundabout here. Behind us is some sort of government building, and now a very loud musician. And right here is the mini Notre Dame. still, and we are on the La Grande Rue de Montreal. You might know this as the Eye, which is a really big Ferris wheel. And your city's probably called the Eye. We're going to be seeing Montreal from way up above. So everyone, fasten your seatbelts. The far distance there's the Echoscape. Different than the Biodome we were at earlier. Views of old Montreal here on the port. Here we are at almost the very top now. To ride this costs about $25 a person with tax. That's Canadian money. So in US dollars, I'm thinking we spent maybe instead of $50 it was something like 40 or 38. So you are saving some when you're an American visiting Canada. Be nice to your Canadian neighbors. They've all been real nice to us so far on this visit. We're having a great time here. We're fans of the Canadian beer Molson. There's the brewery right over there.
I was like, fuck, this has to take off the energy. I bought a bunch of them, they were very cheap. And didn't do anything. And then,
That's why when you get it.
Famous Schwartz's smoked beef. Smoked beef poutine, smoked beef sandwich.
Yeah.
Can't wait. The end result.
Ready, bro?
Delicious.
9 people.
And we are back in Chinatown at a place called O Dumpling. And no, that's not just a nickname my wife has for me. It is some Chinese food. And we've been eating all day. You've been following us, you know, so we're not really hungry right now. But we are going to have this shallot pancake. We had something like this at Ollie's in New York City. And this looks just as good. So we have high hopes for it. Then we're going to have some vegetable dumplings. We're having some hot tea here, which is very good. And hey, we'll report back and let you know how good it is. Oh, dumpling in Chinatown in Montreal. And the dumplings have come from, these are leek shrimp, and I forget what else is in there. Leek, egg, and shrimp dumplings. And we got that with some peanut dipping sauce here, and of course the soy sauce. And they look delicious. Look at that huge order. Never going to be able to eat all that. All right, it's day 3 in Montreal, and now might be a good time to talk about the Hotel Faubourg, which is where we are staying. Let me just say, if you're looking for fancy, this is not the hotel you want to stay in. It is what I would call functional. So by functional, you can sleep, you can bathe, you have plenty of space. It's definitely not a small room. We did get the 2 queen bed suite, which is a little more fancy sounding than what it actually is. So I'm going to give you a little tour and start with, you do have a full kitchen. The problem is that refrigerator there, because of where it's situated, does not open fully. It only opens about a quarter way those doors. You have all these cabinets here, but there's no plates, there's no cutlery. You have to go ask for them, and then what they give you is bamboo forks, knives, spoons, and a couple of paper plates. There's nothing to cook with. There's a microwave there. There is a Keurig with some coffee and some powdered creamer. There is a nice big closet here if you want to hang your stuff up. There's another closet right over here. You do get a full mirror, and then this is a shot of what the room actually is. The windows do open, so we are able to get some nice cool air into the room and air it out, which is really lovely. But here's the upside downside. The chair here we haven't sat in because frankly it's dirty. The carpet is clean but old. The bathroom floor is quite dirty. We're not going to go in there right now, but there is nothing over here at all. There's no light. At nighttime, this is the darkest room I've ever been in a hotel. The only lights are right here, a very low dim lamp. Here, another one over here that doesn't give off much light, and then the kitchen. So literally at nighttime, this part of the room is in total darkness. You have a functional yet old chest of drawers you can put clothes in. The TV is very nice. There's a lot of channels if you're only English speaking like us, and then there's French English channels. And that's about it. Look, the cost of the room is somewhere around $100 US for the night. So you get what you pay for. The furniture is old, but if you're not spending a lot of time in your room, you're not really going to mind. So it all depends on your sensibility. If you're looking for fancy and concierge service, again, this is not the hotel that you want. The staff here is incredibly friendly, very nice. It is situated close to Chinatown and close to the downtown area, which is some restaurants and clubs. But honestly, it is not close to anything else. So when you're reading online that it's close to, you know, the Big Wheel, or it's close to the casino, it isn't. It really isn't. We have used the metro line, the subway, a couple of times. That's very nice. It works very well. But understanding exactly where it all goes to is a little rougher. And this construction is everywhere in Montreal that we have seen so far. So when you hear that there's a lot of construction on the roads, believe it. But Hotel Faubourg, I would give it 3 out of 5 stars. And that's a generous 3 for some of it. The beds are comfortable. So if you're interested, you just stay here. It certainly won't be that expensive for you. But again, it is not that 4 or 5 star experience if that's important to you. All right, so we're starting the first of our bagel comparisons in Montreal at Saint Viateur Cafe. And tomorrow we'll try to find Fairmont Bagel, which is the competition. Here's where we are right now. So everyone says the bagels in Montreal are the best. So we are going to try one. So we got breakfast sandwiches, and we bought one bagel plain just to taste it. Here's the sandwich. Huge, absolutely huge. And let's see what this tastes like. So we've had the bagels now at Saint Viateur Bagel. And it's a very good bagel, but I don't see the big difference in this and what we have back home, Monty, or New York, or anyplace else. They say they're supposed to be made with a sweeter taste. They're made with honey water. They're definitely soft, very soft bagels. If you get a plain bagel, remember Debbie got one with rosemary and salt and said it was a little on the hard side after being toasted. But she got a salmon breakfast sandwich, I got an egg breakfast sandwich, and both really good, really delicious. So, a good place to eat. You do have to wait in a line. You're going to enjoy it, but I'm not quite sure that this is that super extra experience we were looking at. So here we are, a little wind blown, and at the Jean Talon Market. And this is famous here in Montreal for 400 different vendors that they have. It's food and fruits and vegetables, produce, all kinds of stores. With a little filming inside so you can see what it's like. We walked a long way to get here. Literally a train, a bus, and a walk. And let's hope we have a good time. So here's the inside, just the entrance right here. Here's a look at everything. It's restaurants, it's a farmer's market. It really is just, it's overwhelming almost. We're going to go explore. We'll let you know later how it turns out. So we've gone through the Chinatown market, and what a bustling, great place. If you lived here, you live by here, you'd never have to go into a supermarket again. Everything, all kinds of fruits and meats and eggs and a lot of honey and maple syrup. Honey and maple syrup on your shopping list all the time, this would be the place to be. I wish we had some place like this back home, but we don't. So I'm glad we visited it while we're here. Day 4, and we are in shopping area, real downtown Montreal. Really nice. We'll talk a little bit more about the underground city when we wrap up everything. But you can hear there are street performers here going on, and it's a beautiful day, about 60 degrees, blue sky, and we're going to give you a shot of what's like around here. Okay, so a word about the underground city of Montreal, which you sort of see behind me. That's a part of it. We spent most of the day trying to find it, easily a couple of hours. We stopped, we asked people, no one knew where it was, what we were talking about. We were showing them pictures from online. And if you've been watching the YouTube videos about going to Montreal, people telling you about the underground city and making it sound like the end all and be all, it ain't. It's a big, big mall, and there's really nothing spectacular about it at all. It's a really large food court, and there's a bunch of stores that may or may not be open, depending on what time you're there. It's a lot of walking. Probably not the highlight of our trip here, although once we found it, there is a sense of accomplishment once you actually find it. So here we are on the plane going home back to Fort Lauderdale. And we're on Air Canada. And so far, not the same experience as Porter, I can say that. The staff so far not quite as nice, a little brusque. The plane is huge. I rode 2 seats, then 4 in the middle, then 2 more on the other side. But there are no individual streams of air, like air conditioning you can blow on yourself. So right now, preparing for the plane to leave, it's as hot as can be in this airplane. So far Air Canada, not getting great reviews on here. Certainly not if you compare it to Porter. But we'll let you know a little bit more as we come to the end of the flight. Everyone fasten your seatbelts. You enjoyed our trip to Montreal as much as we did. Obviously, there's a lot that we couldn't show. I want to say that, first off, about Chinatown, it's wonderful. It's really great. There's some great food there, too. If you're going to Montreal, be sure that you take time to walk down its cobblestone streets and sample some of the great food that you find there. The Biodome, one of the highest rated things that we did. We loved the Biodome. It's so much fun. If you're going with small kids or even teenagers or as a family, or if you're like us, just 2 seniors looking to have a good time, you'll greatly enjoy the Biodome. Now, there's a lot to do in the park where the Biodome is. A lot of that was closed because of the time of year that we were there. I guess it will open up. But there's a large park there with a lot of different buildings and attractions and a lot of great things to do. A quick note about the Hotel Faubourg. As I watched the video, I wondered if I wasn't a little too critical of it. Let me say this. When we were looking, we needed to go and conserve our money. The Hotel Faubourg, 100%, their staff and personnel was the best. No complaints there at all. I don't know the young lady's name the day that we checked out, but she went above and beyond to find us a cart so we could put our luggage on and to help us out, all with a friendly smile while there were a lot of people asking for her attention. The room itself was large. As I said, it was old. I do think it's a solid 3 out of 5, but if you're not looking for elegance and something that's going to impress people in the pictures or whatever it might be, Hotel Faubourg will work great for you. Another note about just the area of Montreal. I have a bad hip, so walking around is a little bit difficult for me. And I wish I had known, and when we were booking this, how difficult some of the streets could be. You hear about all the construction going on in Montreal. Let me tell you, folks, their roads are not good. It's just they're in really, really bad condition. And the night that it rained on Saturday night, they became slippery. Walking for me became a real challenge in Montreal. If you have any mobility issues, or if you are perhaps using a wheelchair, I'm not sure Montreal is the city for you. It's very hard to get around. Talking about getting around, let's talk about their metro system. They have a great bus system, and they have a wonderful, wonderful subway system, if you can find the stations. We spent a lot of time just looking for these stations and asking people. Once we found them, they were great. They were wonderful. You felt safe. They were clean. Everything was nice. But a little hard to find. We ended up using Uber for most of our trips around Montreal. And kudos to all the Uber drivers who were just wonderful and kind and very prompt and no complaints there at all. They were great. The food. One of the reasons we wanted to go on this trip was we heard so many great things about Montreal food. So let's start first with the best. Schwartz's Deli. Everything you hear about the food there and the crowd is absolutely correct. That smoked meat, that sandwich was delicious. The poutine with the smoked meat on it, absolutely delicious. It really, really, really was great. You have to wait in a line. Think of the Carnegie Deli. If you're ever in New York, you had to wait in the line for Carnegie Deli. Same thing with Schwartz's. You've got to wait in a line. But the people are so welcoming and the food is so good, you really just don't mind. The bagels. Everyone told us how great the bagels were. Well, as you saw in the video, we didn't think they were that wonderful. There was nothing bad about them, but they just were not any level above other bagels I've eaten. We did not get to Fairmont Bagels. When it came down to it, for our last day there, we got caught up in trying to find the Underground City, and we just never made it out to try the other bagels. We had bagels at the hotel as part of the breakfast. By the way, they have a breakfast there at the Faubourg that's part of your price. It's okay. It's just your typical hotel breakfast, bacon and sausage and eggs and bagels. But we just didn't find anything exceptional about the bagels in Montreal at all. They weren't bad. They just weren't any better than any other bagels that we've ever had. Now let's talk about the poutine. Poutine in and of itself, the one we had at Schwartz's, was absolutely the best. But it is a meal that grows old very quickly, poutine. We thought we'd be trying all these different varieties and kinds, and we didn't. After we had the second helping at Schwartz's, I think my wife had one more helping at the casino that we went to. They served a poutine with meatballs that she ate. She said it was very good, but at that point she was done. I mean, how many French fries can you eat in 5 days? Lord. The casino, we didn't show any shots of that because, well, you can't shoot in a casino. But what a delightful, great casino. Yes, we won money. So, yeah, that helped a lot. But the staff was fantastic. It was clean. There's no smoking. Huge choices of games to play. Everything about that casino was really, really wonderful. It really was. I can't say enough about it. 5-star experience from start to finish on the Casino de Montreal. If you're going, and if casinos are your thing, you should absolutely carve out some time to go there. You'll have a great time. And again, the staff, wonderful. I think that's what I want to say most about Montreal right now to end out this video. The people of Montreal are so kind. They really are. I can't tell you the number of times that people came up to us because we looked lost, which we were, and asked if they could help us. Even the one that I would say was probably not what you would call the kindest of kind was a gentleman who came up to us as we came as a gentleman who came up to us as we were looking for the mall. There's a gnat flying around, and he seemed irritated that we were lost, but he didn't have to stop, and he went and found a security guard to help us out even more. Again, the people of Montreal, thank you. You are the best. Absolutely incredible, tops. We in the United States could learn a lot from you about patience and kindness. And that was our trip to Montreal. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to be going on other trips. We're back in South Florida now, so we're going to be doing more trips to some South Florida locations, and we hope that you'll join us on talesfromsouthflorida.com with our audio podcast and here on our YouTube channel, Tales from South Florida. This is Bill Monty saying au revoir.
Let's take a talk down memory lane, 'cause the stories around here are just insane. Pirates World, the Sporto and Wolfies too. Palm Beach to Key West, that's where we grew. These are the tales from South Florida for you. With your host, Bill Monty.